Hi guys. Well, hello everybody. So today we are going to be working on a plaid Christmas colored cup. And I'm just gonna hang out here for a minute and wait for people to kind of get going. It's a weird time, so there's a lot of people that are gonna have to watch the replay, which is great. Totally cool. I love the fact that there's so much information that we can all share and learn from each other, which is fantastic. I really love to learn new things, and cupping is new to me. I got into this, I don't know, about 6 or 8 months ago, and I have been absolutely over the moon, having a blast with it. I have a terrible glitter addiction, so doing all this stuff with glitter has been just so much fun. And so yeah, I'm hoping that this is useful for people, because I know that doing plaids was really something that for me was crazy hard to figure out. I really wanted to make it as simple as possible. I watched like a billion tutorials on plaids and how to do different kinds of plaids and all the different things that you could do with plaids, and cheater plaids and non-cheater plaids. And I guess you say I'm a purist, and I'm all about working smarter, not harder, but some of the cheat methods for doing plaid just didn't give the result that I was looking for. I'm super, super picky about my work, and I think we're all a little bit of perfectionists. And so I want to start off by making sure that if you're going to do it along with me and you're having trouble keeping up, let me know. But I do want to move along so that people don't get bored with the video, because it's going to be really long. There's just no way around cutting the steps or slapping the Mod Podge on super, super fast, because it dries so fast. So you kind of do a little bit and you put the glitter on, and then you wipe it off, you sprinkle it off. So things that you're going to need. So of course you're going to need Mod Podge. I like the gloss. Some people prefer the matte. It doesn't matter. You could even technically use Tack It for this, or any fast bonding glue. I have tried it with spray adhesive. It's bad bubbles. Guys, don't even bother wasting your time with it, because the stuff is, you've got tape and you're spraying it on your tape, and then you get sticky all over your fingers, and that's gross, and I can't stand sticky on my fingers. So this is the best one for me. I really like it. And I see there's a bunch of people watching, but I haven't seen any commentary yet. So if you guys just drop a hi or something, so I know that you're here. The next thing that you're going to need is, and I like to keep them in my little cup, a whole bunch of brushes. I prefer flat bristled brushes for this, because it helps me to get onto the edges really easily. Some people like chisel tips, like this. So it's got sort of a chiseled edge that you can poke it up into the corners. I don't find it to be necessary. It's totally a judgment call for you. You are going to need a wider brush. This is just going to help you to brush off the extra glitter, which is actually a really important step in this, because you don't want your glitters going into your other colors. So brushing it off is definitely the way to go. And again, like I said, you know, there's no fast way to do this. It's slow, it's long. It can be a little tedious, and what's cool is you can put it down, walk away, because it's actually the gluing stage. You put it down, you walk away, go get a cup of coffee, relax a little bit, come back to it, and that's cool. But for today, we're gonna try and do like this whole thing in a couple of hours. So what I'm using for colors, I went through, I did the poll. Everybody, it was so close between winter and Christmas. And we're going to go with the Christmas theme because it actually got only one vote more. And I'm counting the vote for somebody commented on another post of mine. I guess she couldn't find the poll. So it was Christmas, hands down. But I will do a winter cup too, because I have some gorgeous winter colors that I got in. For the colors today, I'm going to actually be using more than two. The minimum that you're going to need is two and a contrast color. I am complicated and I like to really enhance my colors. So for my greens, what I chose was two of Amy. Most of this is it's all Amy's, with the exception of the silver, because I didn't have silver, and I was kind of like, well, why don't I have silver? I have the gorgeous Geo silver, which it's like my favorite. This is my favorite, but it's chunky, and sometimes chunkies are kind of a pain to work with when you're doing a plaid. So, you know, I had wanted to use that, but I decided that I'm just going to use a straight up silver, and I know Amy has one on the site. So we're going to be using the Green Mountain mixed with the Tree of Life, because I love the two colors together. When I think of Christmas, it's greens and reds and golds and silvers, and they're just so, you know, it's such an explosion of color. But the green isn't just green, and red isn't just red. So I thought that these two would go together. And the best way to tell when you want to mix glitters, just take a pinch of it, put it down and mix it up, and just see how you're feeling about it. Add to it, take away from it. So those are our greens. And then for the red, I love this cranberry. I was going to use Rudolph, but I love this cranberry. This cranberry is gorgeous, and it works super nice with these greens together. For my contrasts, what I'm using is just a basic silver. And I actually had some Sandy Beach for the gold. Really pretty. These are just going to go on the 1/8" lines at the end. And you are going to need to have 1/8" tape. It's double-sided, sticky tape. Kind of a pain to work with. Comes in a whole bunch of different sizes, but for the plaids, you want to have 1/8" tape. I got a pack of 5 of these on Amazon. I think it was like $8, and the stuff lasts forever. I mean, you can do a ton of cups with these, and I know that they have some packages that have different sizes in them. I actually picked up a 1/2", 1/4", and but they didn't have the 1/8", so I just bought the 5-pack of this because I'm planning on doing a whole bunch of plaid cups. So you're going to need those. You're going to need a sanded, painted, and taped off tumbler. So I did post a video earlier on how to do the tape off. I'm super OCD when it comes to my spaces, and I want them to be even. Some people don't care and they just put them on, and you've got skinny ones. And I mean, every cup is going to be different, and it's just an extension of you as an artist and how you want them to look. I say go for whatever makes you happy. If you don't want to use 1" tape, which is this 1" painter's tape, you could actually use any width tape that you want. It just means you're going to have more squares. The important thing is that they're even. So this skinny 30-ounce cup is 10 inches around at the top and the bottom. And then the length is 9.5 inches. So it gives you a 1/2 inch to play with, either at the top of your cup or the bottom of your cup. Personally, I hate plaiting the bottom of the cup. It drives me insane because I cannot get it to be even. And so what I do is I just take that last 1/2 inch and I just cover the whole thing with sort of a mixture of the different colors and even the contrasts will work super well too. Okay, so that said, what else are you going to need? I think that's you're going to need. I suggest putting your Mod Podge in a little cup. I love these little cups. They're reusable. You can wash them out. They're easy to sprinkle your glitters in. And so what I've done is I actually use bigger because you do go through quite a bit of glitter. I mixed the 2 greens together in this cup. I hope you can see. It's chunky and it looks really awesome. So that's going to go in some of the big squares. I have the cranberry in another cup. That's going to go in some of the other squares. I haven't done the mix yet because I actually want to show you how to do the mix. Some people do 50-50. Other people like more green. They like more red. Traditionally, it is a 50-50 mix of the 2 main colors that you're using. But hey, you know what? You're an artist. You can do whatever you want to do. So that said, oh, there we go. I have a tablet over here, so I have to look for comments. Hi, Christina. Hi, Stacy. Hi, Spencer. Is it Spencer or is it Stephanie? It looks like it's backwards. So, hi, guys. Thanks for joining me. So this is, I know so many people got intimidated by plaid cups, and really, they're awesome. They're awesome. I use it as a pain management tool because I have like a lot of pain issues. And for me, I get in the zone when I'm painting. I also paint as well. And this to me was, I like the more complicated stuff. I guess I'm weird. So we're going to get going. I just found on Amazon again too, I just got these awesome, I got this, you can never have enough flat paintbrushes. I got this whole bag. I don't even know how many. I think there's like 24 of them in here. It was like $8 on Amazon. So technically you can have one for each color, or if you want to just throw them away at the end. Sometimes cleaning Mod Podge out of your paintbrush is not the easiest thing in the world, but highly recommend these. I really like them, and they don't get all hairy. The hairs don't come out when you're using the glue. Some of them actually have a slight chisel tip to them, which I really like. When I first started watching the videos on plaids, I noticed that they were using these humongous brushes to paint. And for me, I just didn't like how it worked. So you're just going to start off. You don't want to use a lot of Mod Podge because it glops up on you. So you just paint it on. Make sure that you get your corners. So I try to tap in my corners. You can safely do a couple of squares at a time if you want to, or you can do them one at a time. I've gotten pretty good at it, so I can do probably a line's worth. I do about 4 squares. I'll put my glitter on, and then I'll just continue on. You do want to check and make sure when you start sprinkling glitter that you're getting it all the way into the corners, and you're going to want to press it all down. Then we'll go around the whole cup, and once we're done, we're going to go back before we take off tape, and we're just going to make sure that the glitter held. And ripping the tape off, you do want what you're going to find is that sometimes it'll take off the little corners of glitter. So we've got our first one on. And I think I'm just going to start with the red. So this is the cranberry. It's, if you missed the beginning, it's Amy's Cranberry 163. This color is absolutely amazing. I work over a piece of parchment paper. Some people like just regular paper, or they actually like a paper plate. Personally, I like the parchment paper. I don't think the glitter sticks to it as much. And I reuse it. So what I'll do is I'll do this whole cup, and then I will take it over to after I get all the glitter off of it, I'll take it over to my tumbler, and then I will put it right underneath my tumbler. Okay, so we got the first line of glitter on. Now, it doesn't really matter, but I like to go brush as I go. So get your tape and brush off in between your tape, just to get off the excess so you're not spraying glitter all over yourself, which, hey, it's glitter. We all do this a zillion times. And we're just going to continue. So if you're doing this along with me, just fill up all these empty holes with your color that you're working with. The great thing about plaid is you can use any colors that you want to. Somebody had said, well, what about blue and, blue colors for the cowboys, or, you could do team colors, you can do Halloween colors, you do Christmas colors, Hanukkah colors, any colors that you want. And there's really no rules to me when it comes to color, although you do want them to sort of look nice together. A color wheel can be your friend, and they're really inexpensive. You can even find them online so you know kind of what colors complement each other. Again, guys, you want to make sure you're getting in these corners. And the other thing that in my tutorial on putting the tape on, I did go over the necessity and importance of making sure that you press down your tape really good, because you don't want these colors migrating any place that they're not supposed to be going. And I did that on my first tumbler. I just kind of slapped the tape on. I wasn't really paying attention. And yeah, I ended up with a mess underneath. And I was doing an offset of white, which meant that I had red in my white. And while that's not necessarily a bad look, it's not what I was going for. You do want to tap this off really well. Get off as much of that loose glitter that you possibly can. I have seen people use like one of those little embossing guns to help their Mod Podge dry really fast. I personally do not do that because I think that it dries really, really fast anyhow. And this first step, you can be a little bit sloppy. You don't have to be like super crazy careful because you've got the tape there to protect what it is that you're doing. I also sprayed my cup after I sanded it. I sprayed it with a matte cranberry color because I thought that it would really look nice underneath here. So that's an experiment. I don't know. I just got like a ton of new spray paints, so I'm like super excited. I just haven't found a good purple that's not a gloss. And so if anybody out there knows of a really good purple, please let me know, because I'm actually working on a couple of Prince cups, which I'm like so excited to do. I just got my Cricut and I'm learning how to use that, and it's a blast. Although I want to rip my hair out half the time because I couldn't figure it out. But I want to thank Vanessa and Kristen Warwick for helping me so much with the Cricut information. And Gina's been wonderful too. So that's this group is amazing. I have been in a ton of craft groups, and some of them women, they're just like, sorry, but they're just nasty people, and they don't want to share information. They don't want to help each other. They just want to go on. They want to show off their stuff, which I guess is okay. But hey, we're all here together. We're all here to learn. We're all here. We all have knowledge. We all do something really well. And then other things we don't do well. So, hey, let's share. Let's just teach each other all the cool things. Also, with this crazy stuff that's going on in the world right now, you know, it's nice to be able to relax and make stuff and maybe earn a little bit of money doing it. I'm all for that. I'm all about empowering the self and learning. So I have a bunch of rows on, but I just ran out of my little cups worth. So best thing, glitter, 100% reusable. Don't ever throw this stuff away. It kills me. I've watched tutorials where people are, you know, doing epoxy method on their tumblers, and they're just letting all their glitter kind of go together, and they don't reuse it. And it's like, oh my gosh. Save the glitter. Don't waste the glitter. I love glitter. Sorry, I got glitter in my nose. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Or if you have any chit chat or just want to ask me any questions. I have been an artist my whole life. I do so many different things. So, you know, I'm sure some of you are friends on my page, so you know some of the stuff that I do. But cups are kind of new to me. And I'm really loving them. And I'm really loving this group. It was probably my third, I think it was my third cup group that I joined. And everybody's been so great, and we all share information, and I love that. I love it. And plus I'm addicted to Amy's glitter because it's just amazing. It's some of the best glitters that I've found. The colors are wonderful. The quality is phenomenal. And besides that, she's got colors that nobody else has. And there's been some incredible colors that she's got. I love the Frozen Stream. That's one of my favorites. So tell me, what colors are your favorite glitters? What do you love? You know, it's always cool to know. So we're coming along. We're on our last row of the cranberry. And again, guys, making sure that I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I kind of think it's important because I know I made, oh, geez, did you see what I just did? I dipped it in my glitter. I made this mistake. My first cup, and we all learn by doing that, I did not get the glitter into my corners good enough. And I also, because I have never been one to spray paint my cups. I've always sanded my cups. But I learned that when you spray paint your cup, it really enhances the colors that are there. And it allows for a few little mistakes where the glitter didn't quite give you the coverage that it should have. And it saves you a little bit of time from going back in. So my first cup that I did, I had to go back and put 3 layers of glitter on my cup. And boy, was I annoyed, because I just wanted to get it done because it was the first one. I was super excited about it. I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm sorry if I missed something that you're saying, and I don't know why I'm not. Sorry, guys. I'm up from my hands. I'm trying to see. I don't see any questions. So if you guys are asking me stuff, I'm not seeing them, and I don't know why. But anyhow, I'm always available with anything I make. So like if you see stuff on my page or something that you want to know how I did it or whatever, just ask me, because I'm all about sharing stuff. I love mixed media. I love painting. I do sculpting. I make soap. I do all kinds of great stuff. And I'm all about teaching. I think teaching is just, it's one of my passions in life. And it breaks up my day. It breaks up what I do, because I do something that most people don't want to do. And I work with, I'm considered what's considered a death doula, and also a grief therapist. So I work with the dying and the families, and it's difficult sometimes. So crafting for me is just such a great outlet. Really helps me to kind of unplug, because you do get involved emotionally with people. And I want to thank Amy for her kindness to me, and Vanessa and Christy and Rona and Gina and all the other people. Over the past week, I've had it's been rough. So I want to thank you all so much. And I double want to thank Amy for encouraging me to get in here and do this live. So guys, okay, hey, first layers, the very first layer is on. So what we're going to do is we're just going to set that off to the side for a minute. We're going to clean off remember, don't throw your glitter away, and don't put your colors away yet. Like some people just dump them back in the bag. Don't do that. Put them back in your cup, because we're actually going to use this to mix our combination. I'm thinking about doing a combo of the green and the red, but I think I want to put a little bit of gold in it, because I think that would be really pretty when you're thinking about Christmas. And I know it's fall, and I know we haven't even got past Halloween yet, but I love Halloween. It's my most favorite holiday, and Christmas is my second favorite holiday. And then Easter is my third favorite holiday, because I love the colors and I love all the crafty, cool stuff that you can do. Okay, so that said, we have that first batch on, and that's the toughest part. Actually, the toughest part of the whole thing about a plaid is putting the tape on right. So the next thing that you're going to do is you're going to pull off your next layer of tape. So we have tape that goes up and down the cup, which stays, and then all of the tape that goes around the cup at this point, we're going to start to take off. I do recommend that as you take your tape off, don't just rip it, like gently pull it so that you can watch what's happening with your corners. You don't want to leave this on too long, because like with anything, if you've ever done it, make sure you have your trash bin handy, because yes, this is going right in a trash bin. There's no reusing the tape. Definitely not. Hi Gina, I'm glad you made it. Dana, yeah, I know that this group is just amazing. All the ladies here are just so great. I know we have a few men, but I really haven't had a chance to interact with any of them. And Dana, you didn't miss a whole lot. I just started putting on the first squares. So again, as you can see, like I've got a nice clean line there. If you wait too long to pull your tape, what's going to happen is anything that's crept up underneath your tape is going to tear off your tape. I did find that for plaids, because you're putting tape on and then you're taking tape off, the spray paint that you use as your base coat, please make sure that it's good quality. That I'm talking like no cheap stuff, really. Rust-Oleum double, the 2-time one is really good. It gives really its primer and a final. Don't need to worry about it. And it's also not going to rip. I actually did, I started a cup that I spray painted with this stuff. And I put my tape on and I had to reposition my tape and it ripped my tape it ripped my paint right off. So now I have to go in here. I got to strip this. It's going to make me crazy. Because that's actually going to show underneath the application that I'm going to be doing. That's okay, Gina, no problem. I'm going to talk to Amy and see if I can do some evening ones. Afternoons is tough for me to, I mean, I'm free on Fridays, so I can do Friday. But I think I want to do during the day. Okay, so normally you also need to make a decision when you're doing your cup that there's a 1/2 inch space that is going to happen on the cup because it's 9.5 inches. And unless you want to do a whole lot of math to work out exactly your squares and then figure out like how you're going to put on your tapes and stuff, I found that the top inch I actually leave. I don't carry my plaid all the way up. And then the bottom of it, I don't carry it all the way down. Now, so because I took my tape off the bottom, I do need to remember, and normally I mark. So in my tutorial, again, you're going to see I have grid marks on a couple of the pieces of tape. I'm going to know that I'm not going to put any glitter underneath of that area because I want to carry the whole bottom and that lower 1/2 inch. Okay, so I have all of my tape off except for the top row, which I'm actually going to use as the same as the bottom row. And now we're going to mix our 2 colors together. So we've used our cranberry. So I have my leftover cranberry, and I'm going to put it actually in a little bit bigger cup. And then, actually I have a lot in here. It's better when you're doing your mix. It is way better to have more than not have enough because you actually use the most of the mix. I'm not going to do okay, so remember when I said I was doing my green and I did the Green Mountain and the Tree of Life together? I'm not going to do my mixture with a chunky because the Green Mountain has a chunky in it, and I wish that I had some other colors, but I was sort of like spur of the moment kind of thing when we decided that I was going to do this, and I didn't have a really super dark green. So you do want to try and get, I start off by putting my darker color in, and then I'm going to just start to add my colors in. This is my fancy stir stick, which is another one. I found that this cranberry, because I pre-mixed a couple of other ones, that the cranberry is a very strong color and it does overtake the green. So I am actually going to, I put in a little more of the green than I did the cranberry, and I'm not sure if you can see this too well. My lighting is kind of weird, and I promise I'll work on positioning and lighting for the next time, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to do it. And I do lives when I'm teaching other stuff, and I working with clients and stuff, but I'd never done actually a sit down. Usually I'm standing at my turner and explaining things. So I promise I will do that. So anyhow, we're all ready to go. Again, I love these cups because they're reusable. You just wash them out. You can wash them out, or you can mark them for what they are. And okay, so our next step is in between the cranberry, we're going to actually apply. And this is pretty dry at this point, and actually I got really good coverage from what I can see on this. You do want to check, you do want to make sure that your corners are caught, you know, like they're good. This is really good, so I'm pretty happy with this, so I don't need to put on more. Now in between, you're just going to paint in, and little trick I learned was I'll take my brush, I don't know if you can see, okay, and in the corner, and I just press and kind of squish my brush down, and what that does is it ensures that it's getting right up against the other color, and it's also going to get that corner, because those corners are the worst, the absolute worst part of this whole thing. Because what's a plaid? Well, it's just a bunch of little squares. Again, you can work as fast as you want to. I personally found 4 squares is a lot for me. It took me a couple of cups to actually feel confident to really do 4 at once, because the Mod Podge, again, you don't like, see how that's all like runny on there? You don't want that. You want to, that's too much glue. You want to push it off, get it off of there as much as you possibly can, so that it's smooth. Mod Podge is, I call it devil's glue. I don't know, this stuff just never does what you want it to do. And it does have a tendency to glop up. I find the wider brush that a lot of the other tutorials show people doing, it's too much to handle, and I just get way too much glue on there. So again, just making sure that you're getting your corners super good. Now, you can do the bottom at the same time. I usually do. So what you just want to kind of eyeball. And actually, I've gone in other cases, and I actually mark my grids up and down. So as you can see, I have like alphabet letters there, and then there's a 1/2 inch space. I've done them on all of my tapes at other points, and what that will allow me to do is know exactly where my glue line needs to go. But again, you know, we all have our ways, we all have our favorites. And again, it's about working smarter and not harder. So if you're struggling with doing it my way, then by all means, find your own way. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a basis of what somebody has said and making your own way to do what you want it to do. I really find that people get very stuck in, you know, doing, well, you know, I have to do it exactly the way that it was said to do in the tutorial. Well, no, you don't. Just go ahead and be easy on yourself and make your life easier. Okay, so it's mix time. Now, I try not to get a ton on my other color. Oops, just like I just did, but that's okay, because we'll brush it off. And I don't like these cups for sprinkling glitter. I love these. These are like my favorites. Sorry, guys. Okay. So once you get it on there, you're just going to press it all down just the same way that we did before. Not a big thing. And when you mix, I know I said it, but I'm going to say it again. When you mix your two-tone glitter, make sure you make enough. Because if you don't, it's kind of hard to match it unless you measure it, which I've done that too. I've actually took like a measuring spoons, measured out glitter, done it that way, and it works really good. I think it works really good to measure it, because then it's like cooking, you know. Then you're sure you're getting the same, you know, the same colors, particularly if you're gonna, as a cupper, if you're gonna be selling these cups, and people want to get exactly the same thing that they see in the photo. That's a really easy way to do it. Measure it out. These little medicine cups are fantastic for that, because then you know, hey, I'm using a 1/2 ounce of green, I'm using a 1/2 ounce of red, and you're going to get it consistent, which is, to me, I don't know. I think consistency is everything, particularly when it comes to sales. So I hope that made sense. All right. So I always like to start at the bottom, because that weird line, I didn't mark my spots here, and it's just going to let me, I'll turn this around a second so y'all can see. It's just hard doing it two ways. Again, get the corner. Again, if you're working along with me and you have questions, you know, let me know. I'd like to schedule a kind of classroom situation where I'm actually doing it step by step with you. Any of the stuff I do all kinds of different cups now. I do fabric. I had a blast doing it. I found this really great villains, Disney villains fabric, and I took it and I put that on my cup, and then I enhanced it, and I got these gorgeous rhinestones from Amy, and I love them. And I was like, oh, how can I use these? And I had this really cool tape ribbon that I was using, and I made this. I love it. I just love the tumbler. I thought it came out super good. It was like my first fabric tumbler, and I was really thrilled with it. So I do those. I do geode cups, which are loads of fun. So Amy and I talked about that today, and I will be doing a geode tumbler next week. And then I'm going to try and do another one where I want to do another fabric tumbler. Okay, so this is our second line. Again, like I said, you see, you really can't rush the process. You just have to really play with it. Hi, Kim. That's awesome, Susan. The first cup is always scary. Can't spray paint in an apartment. You don't have to spray paint. Okay, so, you know, there's a lot of schools of thought on spray painting. And some people say, oh, you absolutely have to spray paint your cup. Well, you know what? I have made, when I first started doing it, I didn't have any spray paint. So guess what? I didn't spray paint. The one thing that you have to do, you have to sand your cup. You have to, so that your stuff will stick to it. You don't have to spray paint. And the biggest reason for spray painting is so that if, like, your glitter skips a spot, it just doesn't show up as much. So that's really the biggest thing about that. Gina, that's industrious. Um, I've done that. I have actually done that where I actually took and changed all of my spots so that they match the color that I was doing underneath. Total pain in the neck. But you love doing all the geometric cups, so I think it's going to be gorgeous. I can't wait to see what you do with the plaids. Plaids are like scary for people, and they don't need to be. Yes, it's complicated. But it isn't. It isn't like a single color that you're slapping onto the turner, or even I'm not sure what the technique is called, where I call it the glitter spray, where you just kind of sprinkling glitter on as it's turning. I don't know all the terminologies, but for me, I like complicated. I like things that challenge my brain because I use my crafting as a tool for pain management. It puts me in the zone. It helps me to relax. I guess you'd say, like, for me, this is like a form of meditation. And it's also a way for me to unplug after dealing with clients that I have, and again, like I said, I love what I do and I'm blessed to do what I do. Um, but it's emotionally draining. So crafting for me is just like, love it. Don't ever be afraid to try something. What's the worst that's going to happen? What, it doesn't turn out the way that you thought that it should? Chances are if an artist is doing something, it was like a fluke anyhow. How do you think the best art projects start? Is people sit down, they start doing one thing, and then they're like, oops, that didn't work out the way I wanted to. And then somebody comes along and says, oh my gosh, that's really cool. I love that. How did you do it? And it becomes a thing. So remember, don't ever be afraid. Don't ever be afraid to challenge your mind. Don't ever be afraid to try something new. Don't get stuck doing the same. I know people that do the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, they're good at it, but that gets boring, at least to me. I want to do all the things. I want to try all the stuff. I also want all the glitter colors. So Amy needs to stop getting like so many cool new glitter colors because I need them all, and I don't have, like, I'm in the process of setting up my studio. Okay, so you see, I just totally botched that because I stuck my thumb in it. Really easy fix. Just go back in with your paintbrush and just reapply your glitter. Don't worry about making mistakes with it. You just go ahead, put on a little bit more. Some people like to put their tumbler stick on and hold on to that. I don't, because I've got arthritis, really bad arthritis and the start of rheumatoid, and I can't do that. So it's easier for me to have my hand up inside the cup. So we're almost done. We got 2 more rows to do, and then we're gonna pull off our tape the long way. So if you're doing this along with me, I hope somebody's doing this along with me. I think I answered you, Susan, when I think it was Susan. Yeah, Susan, about spray painting. But to touch on that one more time, don't worry about that. You don't have to. You can use acrylic paint. The problem with acrylic paint is it usually takes a couple of coats. I do find that if I'm putting tape down and with an acrylic paint, I end up, and I have to take it off, it will kind of pull the tape, I'm sorry, pull the paint off along with my tape. So I don't really like that. But if you want to do just, like if you're doing like a Milky Way, or you're doing something that you don't have to put tape on your cup, I don't see why you couldn't. Absolutely. I've done it. I've used acrylic paint. And besides that, there's so many great acrylic paint colors out there. You could just do some really awesome things with it. I'd say try it. Like I said, don't be afraid to try new stuff. Challenge yourself. I like to challenge myself. I'll see a technique that somebody's doing and it looks super complicated. I'm like, yep, that's my next project. I wanted to do that. So I just got my Cricut, and I'm telling you, there's a challenge right there. Holy smokes. I have done some cool stuff with it. Not a lot, but I did figure out how to upload. I figured out how to clean up stuff. I figured out how, the weeding. Yeah, that's interesting. Weeding is like, oh my gosh. I love it because it's actually, again, it's a meditative form of pain management, which I think is super awesome. Anything I can do in that realm, I am like all over. And except for, I don't know what so I was weeding this Prince, I don't know what you call it, vinyl, I guess, cut out of vinyl. And it was gorgeous, and I was so happy. I was so proud of it. I was like, oh my gosh, look at what I'm doing. This is so cool. And I went to do the next section. I was being super careful. I was cutting away all the extra, to make sure that I wasn't pulling, just like I had read. And I looked down, and my E is missing off of one of the tiny, teeny little words. And I was just so sad. I was like, oh my gosh, now I have to start all over again. Because it, kind of like it's an E and it's in a word and it shows. So you really need to have that. And then, I think it might have been Dawn. Somebody told me, anyhow, that I didn't have to do it because you can just go into contour and take out all the extra spots and just reprint the one word. And I was like, get out of town. That's awesome. I love it. So now I can just go back in and print out my E and continue. But it's not that complicated, guys. These are not as hard as everybody makes them out to be. It's time consuming, yes. Not gonna lie. Definitely time consuming. But so totally awesome when they're done. I love it. Play with your colors too. That's the other thing. I found. So traditionally the buffalo plaids, they're just two colors and they look really cool. But when you're doing themes like Christmas or other holidays or birthdays or anything, play with your colors and add to them. See how you feel about it. Sometimes I'll totally throw in something into my mix. Like, I'll have the green and the red and then say, oh, you know what? I'm going to throw gold in there too. Or silver in there just because it adds another dimension of color to it. And I like that. I'm all about the color. Okay, so we are on our last row of the mix, and really happy with this. I think it's covering really well. I think the base color that I chose was a good choice, which sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we just do black or white, and that's okay. But I wanted to try and get something close to one of the main colors, and I absolutely did not have green. So I did have this cranberry color, and I was like, well, let me give that a shot. Okay. So again, remember brushing. I have not brushed the big lines yet, where the glitter is. I'm only brushing the tape in between. And the reason for that is because I have brushed a little too soon when the stuff was not dry, and guess what? Pulled it right off. So we don't want to have that happen. I'm just going to give this a minute whilst I clean up. I'm just going to go back in, double check, make sure everything is covered in here. Looks good. Tap down, just like with Chunky. If you're seeing that there's kind of a bunch of it because your Mod Podge didn't do what it was supposed to do, just tap it down a little bit. Make sure that everything's covered, and it is. So that looks really good. Okay, so now remember when I said you want to make sure that you mix a lot of your actual mix one, because that is the one that you use the absolute most of. And you do. You really do use a lot. Okay, so the next thing that we're doing is we're taking off all of our up and down tape. So, coolest trick I learned about doing these was make little dog ears, where you just little flips so that you can actually pull off your tape easily. Don't rip it. Like, don't just like rip it off like a band-aid, guys, because you do run the risk. Some of this Mod Podge is really dried, and it will tear off your square or tear off a big chunk of your square, and we don't want that. I don't want to see you go through some of the stuff that I've made mistakes doing, and that's one of my big things. Oh, I want to do a leopard cup so bad, Gina. I really do. I'm like so excited to learn how to do those. I absolutely think they're so cool. And I have a friend, my friend Christine. She's a wonderful soul, and she has leukemia. And I want to make her a hot pink leopard spot, cheetah spot cup. I just think, and she'll love it. She will absolutely be crazy for it. But I haven't gotten brave enough to try. I do have spots that I did with the Cricut, but I want to actually try painting them because I think that they look super awesome. Okay, so now we have all our tapes off. Now, this is the part everybody's like, oh my gosh, what do I do? How am I going to get those even? It's really easy. You're just going to start, and you're just going to go in between. So because we're doing the mix, that's what I'm just going to keep doing. So you've got your cranberry mix, and so on here. So you're just going to alternate now, and you're just going to put, so where there's cranberry, you're going to put your mix in between. And that's all you're going to do. Except I did exactly what no, I didn't. Good. Okay, I just have to refill it because I did make more. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't make enough. But I did. I don't like mixing my colors into the Mod Podge. I don't I personally don't find it gives on a plaid. If you're doing spots, I could totally see the benefit of doing that. I think it will work out really good. But I just don't see, I don't think I would try it. I really don't. This is a, and because, no, I'm just going to stick to what I said. I personally would not do it, but hey, try it and see, and maybe you'll teach us all a brand new way to get it done, because they are time consuming. Absolutely. Okay, so now before I start, I'm actually brushing the glitter lines that are down already. I just want to get them, and that's really the trick with these guys. If you just notice, even though I brushed that off, I just tapped this cup and a whole bunch more glitter just fell off. Yep. Just want to keep, and I'm not brushing hard here. I'm just letting the brush do the work. I'm just carrying it down very lightly over it. And I still have a lot of glitter coming off of here. So we're going to actually use when we're done putting this on, before we put on our 1/8 inch tape, we're actually going to really brush it the heck out of it with I have a couple of big old paint brushes that I like to use just because it does it a lot faster. I'm surprised my cats haven't decided that they were going to come in and visit with us. Does anybody ever find it you get a whole bunch of glitter on your hands and it makes you itchy? I'm always. Okay, so I do leave my top one on just so that I don't make the mistake and go and put, color up there where I specifically had decided that I didn't want to do that. I'm actually going to make the top all solid. I also don't, somebody had suggested in one of the tutorials that I saw, in between to brush off, after you brush it, just take a baby wipe and wipe down. I don't like doing that either, because it, you're just going to put Mod Podge on here and cover it up anyhow, so why waste the baby wipe? Again, you're going to continue. So we're going to start in between the cranberry, and what I like to do is I sort of just dab it on, and I start in at the top, and I'll pull down to make my line, and then I flip my cup around and I go to the other line and I pull down on it, and what that does is it just gives me my little square to work with. Again, you don't want a lot of paint on there or Mod Podge on there, but you want enough that's going to make your glitter stick. Tapping in towards your dried glitter is always good as well. And again, you don't need to rush, because you can come back in and put a second coat in if you have to, or retouch up your glues. When I think it was my second cup, I started with 2 squares, and then I would put my glitter on, and then I would go to my next square. As you become more confident, you will work faster, as with everything. And it just, I don't know, I just love doing this. I think it's amazing. Gina, I hope you're going to do that pink cup. I really hope you do a tutorial on that. I just love it. I thought it was so cute. It's kind of like Christmassy, baby-ish with the pink and everything. I loved it. So I am going to be a great grandma. I'm so excited. Um, yeah, I know it's kind of freaking me out a little bit too, though. And the baby is due right around Christmas time, and I'm just super excited. I just keep thinking of all the cool baby things that I can make. So I'm not seeing any comments on my phone, and everything is on my tablet. So I hope I'm not missing stuff that people are saying. And if I am missing stuff that you're saying, I'm really sorry. I don't know why it's not showing me comments. Remember, tap down. That's kind of an important step. You do want to tap down, make sure you're getting in your corners, you're getting between everything, and then just like let the stuff fall off and tap. And that's what you're doing. How many people are actually doing this along with me? I hope somebody is. And what other kinds of stuff would you like to see? Because I am all about, like I said, I'm all about teaching. I do lots of stuff. And I know there's so many cool things that we all can do. Like cups isn't just, it's not just about cups. I also do, I'm so excited for this too. I'm working on one of the big blue tray molds that Amy sells. Super cool. I'm doing peacock feathers and raven feathers in it. So if that goes off well, I'm gonna see if I can do a tutorial for you guys on that, on how to work with feathers. It's pretty tricky because working with the resins. So I've been trying different techniques to see what works and what doesn't work, and do you need to seal them? I'm pretty much of the mind, yes, sealing them is definitely going to be the way to go, because I find the air bubbles that happen are pretty bad with it, and then the feathers also want to float up. And the raven feathers worked out really good, but the peacock feathers, because I want the feather to show, I want the eye to show, and it was just sort of doing this weird, like, it was like all the little pieces of the peacock feather were sort of all migrating to the middle, and they didn't want to spread out. So I think by sealing it, it's really going to be better for it. Okay. I'm just brushing off a little bit in between. My first row that I did. Don't brush the stuff that you just did until you're completely done with this step, and then we'll go in and we'll get these spots that we just put on, because you don't want to end up brushing off your work. And again, I've done that. Kind of stinks when you go through all that and then you're like, oops, I just brushed off my glitter. And when it glops up, there's really no way to fix it. So you have to kind of go back in and, if you can see, I hope you can see okay. Like I said, I'll work on, for the next time, I promise I'll work on positioning my camera better and me better, and just so everybody can see really well. Now with the tumblers, because somebody had asked me earlier and I wanted to address this. When you can do a plaid on anything you want. It does not have to be a 30-ounce skinny, but boy, it's way easier doing it on the skinnies than it is on a curve, because you have to calculate for the bottom and the top so that you keep your spaces even. So it's a lot of math and a lot of calculating. Occasionally, it's probably a good idea to remember that the Mod Podge on your brush has a tendency to want to start to dry, even though you're using it, and wipe it down, because you get like this weird gloppy sort of thing happening. It doesn't look, it's not fun. Well, it's a good time when it does that. Make sure that you're getting in your corners and trying to not go over onto, like where I'm coming in here between the cranberry. I'm pressing my brush up against the cranberry so that when I put my glitter on, I'm going to actually get a seal between the two. But I'm really trying to assure that I'm not getting anything onto my cranberry, because I don't want my mix on there. And if 4 squares is too much for you to do at once, that's okay. Do 1, do 2, do whatever you're comfortable doing, because this is about having a good time and not getting super frustrated so that you never want to do it again. I did my first plaid cup and I was like, oh my gosh, I love these. I love doing plaid. I so want to do more plaid. And I want to do plaid like for every season, and I want to do them in all the different colors, because I really want to see what colors work. I see a lot of people doing mostly like the traditional buffalo plaid, which is black and a color, and it looks really awesome, but there's just so many cool choices out there. And I love using chunky glitter. I guess maybe I'm weird, because a lot of people don't like chunky for doing stuff like this. I do. I don't mind working with chunky glitter at all. You just press it down. That's all. And if you're seeing that your paint, again, Mod Podge, if it's starting to get like, I don't know, like runny kind of stuff going on in there, remember to wipe your brush off, and also check your cup as you're doing it, because I just had like a big stringy piece that was drying, because I have a cup here with my Mod Podge in it. I did not add any water. Some people do add water. Gina, do you add water to your Mod Podge to keep it from hardening up quicker? I know it's pretty liquidy already, but I'm curious as to how other people deal with that. Particularly when you're doing like a bigger project. I told you all this is a long video. I don't know. People didn't want to, I guess people didn't believe it, that it takes so long to do. But on average, it takes about 3.5 to 4 hours of painting on just to get your squares. And if I wasn't live, I would stop and I would go take a break in between colors, just so that I didn't start to rush, which we all do. Remember, guys, when you're crafting, It's not a race. It's about having fun and expressing yourself and using it to decompress, to relax. So remember, it's okay to walk away. Don't feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta hurry. I gotta hurry. Because you don't need to hurry. There's nothing that needs to be hurried when you're crafting. Where's my stuff? Also, learned that marking my cups was very helpful to me, particularly when you're doing mixes and you want to remember what you used. So I also have a little like journal book that I use to write down favorite combinations of colors in there. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate you being here. Okay, so we have one more thing to do, and one more strip, and then we're going to finish up in between our squares. And that'll be with our green. I tried a sponge brush as well for applying the Mod Podge, and I did not like it at all. I did not care for what it was doing. I found that it was just hard to control, very streaky going on, and I didn't care for that. So I'm not using sponge brushes. I actually don't very often use sponge brushes at all because they always seem to do the same thing. It has a lot of streakiness to them, and it doesn't give me the results that I'm wanting. Okay, so here's our last bit of the mix, and then we're going to fill in all the empty spots. It's always good to have extra of your mix. Like I said, guys, don't worry about using it. You'll always find something to do with it. Even if you were doing like ornaments with it, which I'm actually really looking forward to doing. I can't wait. Those are going to be a blast. Doing little ornaments. I think those are the new thing everybody's doing. It always seems like the last row doesn't want to cover good for me. Okay. All right. So now I made like this, like a lot in this cup, and I've used, I want to say about 2/3 of what I mixed for that. So definitely don't be afraid to make a lot. The other thing I like about these cups, you You put that on there and it acts like a little lid. So it's like awesome. Okay, so now we're going to brush it. And just take your time when you're brushing in between your glitters. So I'm just brushing the open spots. Because that's where my last color is going to go. And it's also going to let me look and check as I go around to make sure that I got all my corners, that I got really good coverage on them. And this is my favorite brushing brush, because I think it's an inch. No, it's not. It is 3/4 of an inch. And it just works super good. And these brushes were not like, first of all, if you're using Mod Podge, you do not want to be buying expensive brushes. So I just picked, these were actually a pack of a whole bunch of different ones. I think I got them at Michael's. I think they were about $7 or $8. And then the other ones that I got, which I talked about earlier, I got those on Amazon, and they're great brushes. I mean, this works super good for putting on the Mod Podge. Really like it a lot. Okay, so now that looks really good to me. Okay, so now I'm moving out of my mix, so I am going to make sure that my my paper is clean, because if I have to, when I pick up my green glitter, I don't want to have red in it. All right, so now we've gone all the way around. So I'm actually going to take my tape off the bottom. I'm going to show you guys something too. So remember I was talking about seals and making sure that your stuff is all pushed down. Right here, it didn't seal properly with my tape. So I'm just going to make sure that I wipe that off, because I don't want to glop. It's almost like everything shows underneath when you're painting these squares. If there's an imperfection, if you have a bubble, you know, a paint drip, it really does seem to show. So I just want to make sure that and you can wipe off with, this is just it was a baby wipe that actually dried out, and what I did was I just put a little tiny bit of alcohol on it, and that just takes everything right off, and it's great. Okay, so we're ready to put the last of our stuff on. Are you excited? I know I am. I can't wait to see what's going to happen here. I'm glad I put that little tiny bit of gold in with the green and the red. I think that it really pops. It really makes it, I don't know, can you see? And this is so much prettier in person than I think. You're not really seeing how pretty it actually is. The colors are gorgeous on here. I really love it. All right, so off we go. Here we go. So guys, do you have any questions? Is there anything you want to know about? Anything you want to ask me about? I'm more than happy to answer questions. I've been crafting for my whole life. not just cups or things like that, because these are fairly new to me. But I do lots and lots of different stuff. So if there's anything that you'd like me to teach about, I'm sure Amy would be down for it. So this one here, the last little bit is a little, I think it's a little trickier because you're dealing with these squares that are already glittered. So getting into that corner, real important. Make sure that you get your corners super good. Don't be afraid, like I said, to work slow. It's gorgeous here. I live in Massachusetts. It is the most prettiest fall day. The leaves are just starting to turn now. Fall is like my favorite season. It's so beautiful in New England. I just hope that we get a fall this year. Last year we really didn't, but every day like more leaves turn. Yesterday I was commenting to a friend, I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like 3 days ago there was one tree in my yard that just had that tiniest little bit of red in it, and then yesterday it was a little bit more, and today I'm noticing out my window there is just this explosion of orange going on another tree. And it's like, oh my gosh. So it's moving fast. It's moving fast. And we just, you know, yesterday was the no, day before yesterday was the fall, like the official start of fall. Just okay. Making sure I'm getting my corners. And I missed that one. Okay. And again, I don't like pouring out of the big cups. I do like. So if you're just tuning in, the green I'm using is 128, which is Tree of Life, and the 135 Green Mountain mixed together because I wanted the two colors, and I love the fact that there was some chunky in here, which I'm a big chunky fan. I know people aren't, but I absolutely am such a huge chunky glitter fan. I love it. Make sure you push that down good, because particularly if you're using a chunk. Oh, I love it. Oh wow, this came out super awesome. I'll show you guys in just a second. Make sure you get your corners, and boom. Isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. Wow. I am super excited. I can't wait to see this under epoxy. This is going to be amazing. With the chunky, I do recommend that you use a little bit more glue, just to make sure you're getting it to stick down really well. And sometimes particularly when I am doing the chunky, I might do just 2 squares at a time. This particular mix has a lot of fine glitter in it, so I'm actually not having a problem with doing the 4 squares. But I don't recommend trying, because Mod Podge does dry really quickly. I don't recommend that you go ahead and do like 2 or 3 strips at once, because it'll be dried up before you get to it. And then you have to go back. Hi, Doris. Hi, Karen. I've actually been in Texas, and it doesn't seem like they get any kind of fall season. And I know winter is definitely not. If people don't favor winter with or snow down in Texas either. I always spent some time down there, and I remember we got this little flurry, and people were just flipping out about it. Because I guess it's not common depending upon where you are. I was in Dallas, so people did not like the snow in Texas. Remember, tappy tap and pour it off. Don't worry about brushing it off at this point, because we are going to come back in and we're going to barely brush it. But again, because I got chunky in here, you really want to make sure that you're tapping that chunky down. And this is also the great time to, like, let's say you had a piece that decided it was going to migrate on you, just pick it off. I actually have some like really good tweezers that I use for that, so I don't want to touch my other stuff, but I got these tweezers and I love them so much. They're like amazing. And I can just come right in and just pick off the piece that decided it was going to have a mind of its own. Okay. Oh, you're in Kentucky? Awesome. I have a friend. What part of Kentucky are you from, Doris? Yeah, I know when we were down in Texas, I was working. I actually was just going to spend the winter there, and it was quite an ordeal. Like, people were flipping out. They were staying, I worked at a nursing facility, a nursing home, and like, they weren't going home. They were afraid to drive in it. So, and to me, it was like, well, it's a flurry. What's the big deal? Because, we get like, I don't know, 6, 8 feet of snow here sometimes in Massachusetts, depending upon the winter. It's quite common to get like 4 or 6 feet of snow. So, on really bad storms, most of the time it's like between 3 and 4 feet though. Oh, cool. I'll have to see how close you are. I'll have to see how close you are to my friend Rob, Doris. I can't remember where he lives. I know it's a little tiny place. And my son used to live in Lexington, Kentucky. He and his wife lived in Lexington. Again, the corners, I'm going to just drive that into your brains, guys. Corners, corners, corners. Get the corners. And honestly, I hope you enjoy doing these, because to me, I love it. I just truly do. But I'm weird. I guess I am weird, because people don't like complicated, and I love complicated. The more complicated things are, the more I want to figure out how it works or what it's doing. Oh, wow. Okay, so that isn't close at all, huh? Gosh. Okay. I did not plan that well. Do I have more in here? Yes. Good. I have to get more containers for my mixes, because I keep making plaid tumblers and I keep making lots and lots of the mix. And I'm running out of places to keep it, and I don't want to just store them in cups, because, well, we all know bad things can happen and would knock things over, and then I'll end up losing my mix, and that would make me sad, because I don't like to waste any glitter. I'm actually thinking about getting one of those little tiny glitter vacuums. I've seen those. Amy should carry those. I wish she would, because I think they're awesome. It's just a little teeny tiny vacuum that you can suck up your glitter and then put it back in your bag. I think that'd be awesome. So I should ask Amy for those. Well, yeah, well, they don't clear the roads down there, I don't think, because they're not set up for it. I mean, do they even have, like, I don't really think they have, like, snow plows. At least they didn't when I was down there, but it's been a while. Because it's rare to get a lot of, well, it was, at least when I was in Texas, it was very rare for them to get snow. Like, it was like nothing. So look at that, guys. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I do, I like to make a lot of glitter, and then I like to do a bunch, but I don't like to get a ton on my paper. Just because I'm clumsy, and yeah, it's true, I am. And what ends up happening is that I'll go to get up, and I'll knock it or spill my coffee, and then it gets in my glitter, and then I cry because I hate wasting glitter, like I said. I think I'm going to do another one of these, and I'm actually going to leave. I'm going to do other colors, and then I'm going to actually leave some of these blank, and I want to try something with my Cricut and print out, like, think about this. Tell me what you think of this, guys, because I think this would be so cute. Okay, so if you did the tumbler, and on this, like, so it'd be like this, but with different colors, and then where the spot is, what if you, like, printed out like little snowmen or little Santa Clauses or little angels, anything like that that goes along with the holiday? Would that not look awesome? I think it would be cool. I mean, I guess you could probably even do like tiny little water slides. I have not personally had the best luck with water slides. I don't know. I just really have not had a lot of luck with water slides. I've made some. I bought some. I made some. I don't know. I just wouldn't that. Thanks, Dor. I love it, Dana. Cool. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try it. Let's try it. Everybody try it. Let's compare. I think it would be a blast. Because I mean, it's flat, and particularly where you get like a nice cup color, like the cranberry here, and you just enhance it with something cute. Oh, little Christmas tree. Oh my gosh, I just thought of something I have. It wouldn't work for this cup, and I don't know if Amy has them or not, but I found them in my glitter bag that I had. Because I've been collecting glitters for years. Because I used to like to do a lot of different artwork or mandalas, things like that, where I would just use glitter. And I have little reindeers and little Christmas trees. I don't know where I put them. But I have little reindeers and little Christmas trees, and I bet Amy could get something like that for Christmas time. I bet she could, because she can find anything. Like, she's so good at finding stuff. So, oh, that would be so cute, though. I think that'd be adorable. You could do that with like ornaments too, and do like a little plaid ornament, which would be awesome. I think it'd be nice for heirloom stuff. You know, I'm always thinking about when I make things for family or friends, and I want them to keep it, you know, for a long time and use it and enjoy it. So how cool would that be to make like little plaid tumblers and put like really cute little things on them, or little ornaments with really cute little things on them. I don't know. I don't know. I'm weird. Like I said, I think it'd be cool. Remember when you mix, if you're a little tip that I learned about chunky is when you mix up like a fine and then something that's a chunky with a chunky, make sure you stir it every once in a while, because that fine stuff really likes to just sink to the bottom, and then you're not actually getting your true mix. You're just getting the majority of the heavy stuff, the bigger stuff. Just my 2 cents on that. Oh yeah, I think it would be really cute on the glitter too, but I was just thinking, you know, it's like, I don't know, just different. I say we, you know what, let's do it, guys. Let's all try something different and then post them in the group and show off what we did, because I think that would be so cool. And I mean, geez, Christmas is just around the corner. You guys realize that? Craft fairs, holiday fairs, all the church fairs are going to be coming up and everything. You want to jump on the bandwagon of unusual things before everybody else gets their hands on them. Now this last row, actually, when you're putting this last color, solid color down, one of the things that I like to do is sometimes, even though I am pretty meticulous about doing my lines and making sure they're right, sometimes they're just not quite even, or they don't quite look right to me. So that's the opportunity to be able to kind of come in and really fine tune those lines if you want to. I am using more of the glue because I really want this chunky to stay down. And I did try doing the same method with spray glue, and that was quite the disaster, I'm going to tell you. It was kind of a nightmare because, you know, like when you spray it, it doesn't just go in the one spot. It's spraying all over everything, and then you've got just this complete mess of sticky stuff, and I had it on my tape. And all my tape was sticky, and then my hands were sticky, and it was just yucky. Didn't like it at all. So how many of you guys have started your Christmas Eve, you know, or winter projects? You know, are you all working on stuff, and or are you still kind of hung up with the Halloween? I know for me, normally Halloween is huge here. I live 30 minutes away from Salem, Massachusetts, and it is Halloween town. So normally I do fairs and craft events and things like that and I was selling to a few shops as well. So this was like crazy time for me. But with the virus, pretty much everything is just closed down now, as far as those sorts of events. So nothing happening. So I'm looking forward to Christmas, hoping that there's going to be some shows and some fairs to do. Okay. Wow, guys, look at that. We finished the base glitter. Again, you want to, if you do have a chunky, remember, tap it down and then come back in and just pick off. Love these tweezers. If you're new and you haven't seen them yet, because it just lets me get all those straggler pieces so they're not coming down into my stuff. I love this. I think it's really, the colors are beautiful. I'm loving this cranberry. Like I said, I was going to do the Rudolph because that was more traditional Christmassy look. And I was like, you know what? No, I really love this cranberry and I really want to do it. This is going to look so gorgeous with the, when I put the little lines on, which we will be doing here in just a minute. Just letting this glue dry super good, and then I'm going to brush it. I'm going to give it a real good brushing, get off all the excess, and I'm just pulling off that extra chunky stuff that's decided that it wanted to migrate, which it does. I mean, that's just one of the things with chunky is it likes to migrate. It has a mind of its own. So, this has been quite the journey, though. I really love doing these cups. I think, you can have so much individuality, even though you're there's 5 or 10 or 50 people making the same cup. They all look a little bit different. And that is the neat part about being an artist, is you bring yourself to the table when you're doing something like this. Okay, so not real happy with that square. So this is your opportunity again, right before you're gonna move on to the next stage. You're really going to, I don't know, I like to call it fine-tuning what it is that I have and how it looks. Am I happy with the lines? Am I happy with the way that the glitter's sitting? I have this one that's just kind of being a problem. I don't know why the square is being a problem, but it really is. It's sort of like down here. I think I had too much glue, and I don't know why it didn't work, but this is probably good for you to learn, because you can just do that and wipe it off and then just go back in and re-glue it. I think there was like a glop or something of Mod Podge on my brush, and I didn't see it when I came in to do this. Okay. Corners. Much better. Much better. See? Much better. All right. So now I'm going to set this off to the side. I'm going to clean up my mess here, and then we're going to put on our double-sided tape. See, we started off with a whole bunch of people, and there's only 3 of you left. Because this is like long. It's long. It is long. If I was doing a classroom, what I would do is I would have, breaks, and just have everybody go get a cup of coffee and relax for a little bit, and then come back and do the next part. Because, particularly in between layers, I think it's always, I don't know, personally, I think not so much in between this part, but yeah, I know what I'm saying. From this part to putting the little the little 1/8" strips on, you do want your stuff to be dry. You definitely do. Because if you have to lift up to reposition your tape, you run the risk of tearing off all of the work that you just did. So I do like to make sure that it's dry and that everything is where it's supposed to be. Yuck. Thank goodness for baby wipes for cleaning up, because I'll tell you, I don't know about you, but I have glitter from one end of my house to the other. It doesn't seem to matter how much I vacuum, how much we wash the floors. There's glitter everywhere, and there's more glitter on me, in my hair. I did go out to the market, not the market, to the pharmacy one time, and I realized I had like glitter all over my face. And people were looking at me in line, and it was so weird. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm covered. All right. So, alrighty. So the next step, which is actually, there's not much left to do to this now, guys. We're going to do one good brushing to make sure that we got off all the loose stuff. So for that, I actually like to use a wide brush. So I have a wider brush like this. And then I just come in. Remember, I just redid that bottom spot, so I don't want to probably get too low right now. I'm not using hardly any pressure at all. I mean, I'm really truly not using hardly any pressure at all. I'm just gently brushing. Just in case something's not fully dry. That's the one I just did. So I'm gonna make sure that I don't. Okay. And you're going to notice that there's a lot of glitter, even though we brushed this off as we were going along. You're going to notice that on your paper, there's going to still be quite a lot of glitter there. And you don't want that. You just want to keep gently brushing until you get, like, there's not much coming off at all. Like, there's actually nothing coming off of it all. So when your glitter is fully dry on your cup, there shouldn't be anything coming off of it. Why do I do it that way? And people will tell you different things. I mean, some people don't think it's important. For me, I don't want my big pieces of green floating into my red or my mix color, like my mixy part. I want it to stay where it is. So that's why I brush and I make sure that it's on there, it's stuck on. So when I put my epoxy on, it is not going to move. Some people seal, and I've done both. I've done them sealed after you're all done putting it on, and then I've done them with no seal on them. Now, because this had the both colors in it, the red and the green, I'm actually going to put that down into my mix cup because I don't want red in my green, and I don't want green in my red. So all right, there we go. All right, so our next part, where did I put that tape? Oh, here we go. Okay, so your next thing is Rhonda. Hello, glitter buddy. I'm glad you made it on. All right, next part. Oh, I got glitter all over my face. Hey! Awesome, awesome. I gotta hook up with you because I learned cool things. A couple of cool things about the Cricut. I was just so excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is like so cool. Because I could not wrap in my head around it. And I figured out how to make the words kind of go together. And also how to take a JPEG or a whatever and turn it into printable, cuttable things. So it's like, oh my gosh. Okay, so next part is double-side tape. Now, double-side tape is a little bit weird to work with because as it is right now, you can see that it has a little like cover over one side, but the other side, as you lift this up, is actually sticky tapey. So you got to kind of plan ahead of what you're doing, because if you don't, you're going to end up with a knot. It's kind of like duct tape, you know, and dealing with duct tape is not a good time. Okay, so we're doing a double line plaid. So that means that we're going to have crosses, two different sets, two different colors of them going in between. So the first one is we have to pick what we're going to do. Now you notice I've left my top here because that's going to be a contrast color. My bottom is going to be a contrast color. So I'm actually going to be able to take my tape and I'm going to be able to carry it into that, and then it's all going to just be covered up and I don't need to worry about it. So I'm going to leave the chunky part for the second part. And what I'm actually going to do is, I don't know if it's going to be easier to do it this way or not. I keep it from rolling. My table is not level. It is definitely not level. Oh, here we go. Use the old Mod Podge glue. Okay. You do need a pair of scissors, which I had a pair of scissors and now I've lost my scissors. So where the heck did my scissors go? There we go. Okay. Here we go. This part is harrowing for me because I hate making mistakes, and I found not pressing it and I always cut too much, which is fine too, because I don't care. I would rather do too much than too little and end up having a problem. All right. So you want to put this right down the middle. And like I said, it doesn't matter where you start. It really doesn't. Like, I'm going to do it both ways. So I just want to get the middle. And then notice I think you can see I'm holding this end up. I'm going to put my finger on the other end because it could still potentially pop off. And I'm just going to guide my finger down to make sure that this is going down the center line the center of each of these squares. And then you just gently press it as you go. Don't pull your tape off. Don't pull this covering off until you're really ready for it. Christmas washi tape would be awesome. Absolutely awesome for this. I like the double-sided tape because then I can put on whatever colors that I want. But I know some of that washi tape is adorable. And there's just so many cute things. So, okay. Line 1. So we're going to do this up and down the cup. And then we're going to go around on the same colors. So right now we're doing the cranberry and then the mix. We're going to do all those. And then we're going to go around the cup, the same ones. And I keep losing things. I must need more coffee in my life. I just definitely don't have enough coffee in my life. I have put it on this way too, where I just kind of take it from the end and hold it on and push it down. And that works pretty good sometimes too. I think I get less waste though. Particularly when you have arthritis, it's kind of stinky and it's hard, but I do try to make sure that it is right down the middle of my line. And it really helps if you have something that prevents your cup from rolling away from you, because yeah, not fun, not fun, not fun. Now, I don't mind going up into my blank spot at the top and the bottom. It's actually easier for me. I know people are very frugal sometimes, so they don't want to waste that little tiny bit of the tape. But like I said, I have severe arthritis and started rheumatoid, so it just makes it easier for me. Now, like I said, you know, people with disabilities, I don't say, you know what? There's nothing you can't do. You can do it all. You just have to find what works and how it works for you. So don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something. And make sure that your double-sided sticky tape doesn't stick to one of your glitter cups that you had, because that'd make a real mess like I just did. But yeah, you just keep on doing you. Don't let anybody tell you you can't do something. If you want to cop, then you cop. If you want to, you know, wood burn or do cool things, do it. There's no reason that you can't. You just got to find the way to do it that works for you. I know for me, my art has been such a blessing for me. It's helped me through severe pain. It's incredible what it does, because I'll just get in the zone and I forget about being in pain. I forget about everything. So I'm like, I'll notice I'll be in the middle of a project, and then all of a sudden it's like, I don't know, like 10 o'clock at night. I haven't eaten all day because I've been busy working on projects. So got to remember to set a timer on your phone or something to get up and take a drink or get a walk or something, so that you don't get all sore. Okay, so that's our first part. Now you can, if you want to, put down your first of your contrast at this stage, which I do like to do. So I like to work systematically. I've seen people put the tape on and then they'll actually go around it too. And it's kind of like, well, how are you going to get that off of there? Or they'll take this off and then they put their tape around. And it's like, Oh my God, what if you make, like, not about making mistakes, because as crafters, we are going to make mistakes. We're going to make more mistakes than, we really want to admit that we make. But sometimes those mistakes just turn out super cool and awesome. And just let me put this Mod Podge away before I don't actually, no, I'm not going to, because I still have to do the top and the bottom. I was gonna do. So anyhow, what I like to do at this point is I like to start off with my contrast. So I'm actually going to be using, let me just see. I'm going to put the gold on the cranberry mix one. So what I like to do is I'm just going to peel off the little pieces. So that little covering, it comes right off. You may have to sort of play with it. One thing that you do want to do is you want to make sure that this tape is pushed down really good. Then just take your contrast and you're going to just sort of put a little line of glitter down. So I don't know if you can see what I did here, like this. Now here's the trick. Just rub it. You just gently, I like to do like little like back and forth. And what I'm really doing is I'm actually pushing pretty hard. I start off light and then I push a little bit harder. So what it's doing is it's making sure that glitter is bonding to the glue, the sticky tape, but it's also pushing that tape down onto my surface. Okay, so that's done, and then you get your fancy brush and brush it off, and voila, look at that. Okay, so we're going to continue. I'm just going to pull all my tapes off now, so since you saw how that worked. You can push it down really hard, but I don't find you have to push super hard in the beginning, because you're actually going to be coming back in with your glitter. You don't need to like put it on super heavy, but you do want to put it on heavy enough so you are going to get coverage. Going up and down is good, but also sometimes little circles, that really sort of works it in. The reason that I like to go up and down first and then do circles is by going up and down, it's assuring that it's actually making contact with the glitter below and it's sticking. And then I just kind of come back up and do little circles. Done. I really got to talk to Amy and ask her about those little glitter vacuums. I saw them on another website, and I think they're brilliant. I just absolutely love it. Can you imagine how easy that would be to have like that little baby vacuum cleaner? Particularly, like, come on, how many times have we dropped a thing of glitter on the floor or on the table, and we're just gonna cry because we just spent like, you know, $6 or $7 for a thing of glitter, and and now it's all over the floor. Little tiny vacuum cleaner, awesome. The other thing that works super good, I have done this, is I went to like dollar store and I bought like those nylon stockings, you know, like pantyhose kind of nylon stocking things. Put them over, put it over your vacuum cleaner hose. Like, yeah, totally works, guys. Totally works. And then what it does is it sucks up, you know, because you got the vacuum on, sucks up all the glitter into the pair of like pantyhose or stocking, not like a sock, but I'm talking about like nylon stockings. Boom. Then before you shut the thing off, you want to make sure that you kind of like grab a hold. So you take your stocking and you like fold it over the nozzle, suck up all the glitter, and then pull it off while the vacuum's still going. So it takes a little bit of a tricky thing. Grab a hold of it and then shut your vacuum cleaner off. Boom, you got like almost all your glitter that you just spilt all over the floor. It's awesome. But I still love the idea of having one of those little tiny desktop baby vacuums. So that would definitely be something awesome. And I know Amy can find them. She can find anything. She's super awesome about finding stuff. I hope you all are enjoying this, and I know that it's long, and I hope that I've taken out some of the intimidating part of doing a plaid, because honestly, they're just a blast. I love doing them. I really do. I think they're amazing. Now I have to figure out how to use my Cricut to make a cool little saying. Yeah, knee highs, exactly. Exactly. I thought I'd be showing my age if I said knee highs, because I don't think the kids call them that anymore. I don't even know if they wear them anymore. Okay, so that's all the way around. So isn't that gorgeous? Oh my God, these colors are so beautiful. Amy should like totally do like a Christmas box. I don't know if she has the Christmas box done and out yet, but what we should do, guys, is for those, we should all buy one of the boxes and then let's all do it together, like in a group, like all together at the same time or something. Because I know like those chat rooms that they have, they let, like, there's some capabilities, or a Zoom or something. That would be so fun. I know I am home most of the time by myself and it gets really boring. And I love to craft, but I miss seeing people. I miss being with people. And I think that this would be just like such a cool way. Doris, I love you. Oh my gosh. All right, so now we're going to go around the next time. So what I like to do is I just pick a spot. I really do. Remember that the end is going to lap over the other side of it. So you do want to bring it around. So what I do is I start it in the middle of just one of my squares. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to come around and make sure that your cross piece, I have a Zoom that I would be happy to do that in too. Yeah, Facebook probably, you know, like they probably want to charge us money or something like that to do it. Because, you know, there you go. But I think it'd be super fun. Okay. So the going around part, if you notice, like, see the way I came around. Now this end here, so a little trick I learned is in order to get this other side down, I hope you can see what I'm doing. So it's a little tricky to get the edge, but I did get it. So I'm going to pull it back just a little. And then I'm going to take my other side and I'm going to actually bring it over and join it. And then I'm just going to push that other one back down. So, and I'm going to just keep doing this all the way down my cup. I'm working on the cranberry and the mix blocks right now. And I do like to try and start my rows in the same spots because it just makes it easier when you're pulling off your tapes if they're sort of in the same spots. Again, where your crosses intersect, you really want to try and make sure where you really want to try to make sure that your cross hatch is right in the middle of your square, which is sometimes a pain in the neck. And when you're old and blind like me, well, it makes it harder. Okay, so there's row 2. Again, I have no problem using like a little 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch extra just to make sure that I'm getting a good thing, a good seal on it. Come on, you bugger. Come on, come on. There it is. And again, we're just gonna bring our tape up and over. If you see, like, it really is, it's about a 1/4 of an inch or so over the other piece of tape and pressing it down. Yeah, isn't that cool, Doris? I mean, honestly, I was sort of wondering it myself, like, oh my gosh, how in the world do they do that? And then I had thought about washi tape, and I was like, well, washi tape is really cool, and I think that would work really good. But this works super awesome. Like this is not expensive for what you're getting. So I did not see single rolls of this. I got this on Amazon. It was 5 rolls. And I think it was like $8, maybe $8. They do have combo packs that have like all different sizes in there. Some of them are, let me see, some of them I saw were 1/4, 1/2, and then 1 inch ones. Then they had just 1/4s and 1/2s. I saw nothing with 1/8 inch, nothing. And a 1/4 of an inch is way too big to put in here. So, like, seriously, I thought, oh, I'll just get 1/4 inch. Well, I bought a 1/2 and a 1/4 inch package, and it's way too big. So I was like, okay. Particularly if you were doing a bigger square, then that might work out really good. But if not, you really need the 1/8. And like I said, it wasn't that expensive. I will have so much of this tape left over for probably, 10 years or something. All right. This was the easiest little cheat that I found when you're doing your tape, so you didn't have the sticky end sticking up. And now we're going to do one more. And then we're going to pull it all off. We're going to put our gold on. And then we're going to go the other way. And we're going to do silver. And I lost my tape again. There it is. Now, the one issue I did find with the tape is I have glitter like all over my tape. So I don't know if anybody has a suggestion on a better way to stop that from happening, because glitter seems to get on everything. And I mean, it's all over my cats, it's all over me, it's all over my house. The joys of glitter. Glitter, glitter, glitter. All right. Don't be afraid of making these cups, guys. They're super fun. Like, super fun. I love it. I love making them. I always loved intimidating things and things that were difficult that other people thought, oh my gosh, that's so hard to do. It's not hard to do. It is time consuming. It can't be rushed. Because when you rush it, it looks sloppy, and we don't want that. So take your time and do it. Okay, so I just pulled up all my tapes, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you, like, coming down. I'm gonna do this. If you notice spots when you're coming through on the up and down ones that don't look like there's enough on there, just go ahead and do that. Just go back over them. I have also had occasion where the color that I picked as a contrast really wasn't quite bright enough. And so what I ended up doing is going back in with a smaller paintbrush and then Mod Podge over it, and just redo the glitter, put a second layer of glitter on. Works like a charm. Super easy. And then you're sure that you have all the coverage that you want to have on your cup. This part seems to go much faster than the other parts for me. At least this, doing this cross piece really does go super, super quick. Okay. What do you think of that, guys? Look at that. Pretty, 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 pretty. Okay. Now, technically, you could stop there and you could just finish off your top and your bottom if you wanted to. But somebody had asked me about doing a double tape. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a double tape. Now, I just have to figure out how am I going to plug in my phone, because my phone is getting low. Sorry, guys. I got you up in the air. Sorry. The hand. All right. All I stuck you in a tumbler because my phone was going to die on me. Because even though I didn't realize how much time it took to do this. Okay, so again, you could technically stop here and then just finish off your top and your bottom part. But we're going to do a double. So again, just give your a good brush. This is really truly one of the most important parts of a plaid is getting all the extra glitters off of it before you move on. So I was trying to think of Christmassy colors to go in, and I think I'm going to do silver. I'm going to do silver. So we're going to give it a try. I'm going to see how that works. So it's the same exact thing, guys. You're doing the exact same thing, only you're doing it in the alternating squares. So where there's green and the mix, you're going to be going over that. And you're also going to be crossing again, push down your chunky. If you're using a chunky, make sure you're pushing it down. Real important. Oh, sorry. Oh, actually, that might be better for you guys to see. Yeah, that looks better. I don't know from where I'm. Does that look better? Or do you want me to put it back up again? I can't wait to see this under epoxy. I think this is going to be amazing. I'm actually checking my tablet to see if anybody's seeing anything. Because... yes, I did, Karen. I did from the very beginning. The only thing that's not on this video, because it's long, I'm warning you now, is how to tape off your cup. But I have another video that is available. It's in the group on how exactly to tape off your tumbler. And all of the colors that I'm using. So I'm using all Amy's, for the most part, all of Amy's colors. It's the 163 Carenberry. We did a mix of 128 Tree of Life and the Green Mountain 135. So those are our greens. And then our mix is the Cranberry and just the Tree of Life. Then I'm using for the gold, I'm using Sandy Beach 315, and I actually did not have any more. I didn't have enough of my silver, so just a nice true silver. You don't want to have like fancy bits in it. I was going to use the Geo Silver, which is one of my absolute favorite glitters that Amy carries. It's gorgeous, but I didn't think the chunky on the little lines was really going to work super good, so I opted to just use this flat up silver. Okay, hope that made sense. But everybody should definitely do a plaid. Definitely do a plaid and come up with cool things to put on their plaids. And there was some discussion about leaving some of the spots with just... Yes, I already thought that was such a great idea, Karen. And then we can all do it together. We can all do like, you know, Christmas plaid box. I think it would be so fun. So, so, so fun. Okay, so now I have all of my up and down pieces on for my second row. I'm just going to come in here. I just want to trim off a little bit of my double-sided tape. Okay. And now we're just going to switch to silver. But first, before I switch to silver, I need to wipe off my... I like parchment paper, actually. I know people use tissue paper. Not tissue paper, but tissue paper works pretty good. But I really like using a parchment paper, and then I'll just take that right over. Okay, Amy, thanks for checking in, hon. I love it. I just love it. I love everything. I love crafting. It makes me happy. It makes my heart happy. I hope it makes your heart happy too. There's so many talented women in this group, and men too. I mean, like I said, I know we have some men in the group, but I honestly haven't interacted with any of them. Nor have I really seen anything that any of the men have done, and I don't really know why. So, but there's so many talented people in this group, and I really love it. Oh, Amy, it's so pretty. Please do like a Christmas plaid box with these colors in it, because these are all your colors. And they're so gorgeous. So beautiful together. The cranberry is outstanding, and yes, we need this in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. So again, we're just coming up and down. We're just rubbing in for our lines. This goes much faster. I don't know. I think it goes a lot faster the second time around, as you can see. Make sure you rub it in, guys, because that really helps to get it to stick. Now, if you have a chunky in there, you're going to notice that that darn chunky is coming off into your glitter. So, again, that's why I really love those needle nose pliers that I have, tweezers, because I can pick out that chunky glitter and then just put my silver back in the bag if I want to. All right, one more. Where did my brush go? Okay, final rows of tape. So I hope you're getting, look, if you have, I do not seal between glitters. No, I don't. There's actually no reason to seal between the glitters. You could, if you really want to, if you have the time. But there's no need to, honestly. The brushing off process is very important when you're doing this. And I found that if I sealed them too quickly, if I was sealing it in between First of all, I was getting multiple layers of sealer on my tumbler, which was kind of yucky looking. And then also I didn't like the way that my end result was, because it almost made it look more of a matte kind of look. I don't find it necessary, but by all means, I mean, you know, hey, it's your art and you should be able to do whatever you want to do with it. If it makes you happy to seal it between, or if you're feeling like you need to. But there's enough glue on here, believe me. Okay, so if I know you're just coming in, so what ends up happening is you start off with you doing a solid color, then you're putting the remnants into a cup to use for your mix, and then once then you're going to make your mix. You come back in, whatever falls off of your cup, you just put it into your mix cup on those first ones. Those first couple of colors, and then after that's done, you want to make sure that it's dry. So I would normally, at this point, I would normally stop after I finish like in all my squares. I would leave it sit for, you know, half an hour, because Mod Podge dries really fast. Let it sit about half an hour. And then I would come back in and put on my tape. I would not normally be jumping right in here and doing tape. Just because, I don't know. I like coffee. I drink a lot of coffee and I need a lot of caffeine. So, and I ran out, I think. So, hey, the more breaks you take, the more coffee you get to drink, right? It's amazing. I found pressing down really helps, guys. So make sure that on your points, you're pressing that tape down. And when you get to the end, cut a little extra and then roll that underneath part back. Put your top one down, and until you're ready to roll, until you're ready to pull it all off, just leave it there. So now I have to start thinking, at this point, normally when I'm doing a cup, I start to think about, well, how do I want to finish my top and my bottom? Do I want to do a mix? Do I want to do a gold or silver combination? Do I want to do, I think I am kind of leaning to doing the cranberry on my top and my bottom. But I'm open to suggestions if y'all have an idea about what you might like to see done. And again, totally, you could have stopped. You don't have to put the second contrast in. You don't have to. It's totally optional. I thought it'd be fun, and somebody had asked me about it, and I was like, well, why not? I'm just gonna do it. And all right, I'm having trouble here getting this piece off. Sometimes if you push really hard on your tape, like the glitter likes to stick to this tape, and then it doesn't want to come off. Okay. I'll come back in and mess with that after, because I want to get the rest of this tape on here. After I do all this and finish the top and the bottom off, then I will seal it. I will take it outside. I will spray seal it. I will leave it set overnight. And then I'll do the epoxy. I like to have a few epoxy projects all at the same time that I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of weird like that. I like to have 3 or 4 things going at the same time. And I'm actually working on some stuff this weekend, so I will actually be putting the epoxy on over the weekend. Okay, so was our second bits of tape. And those problem ones, there's a couple things about this kind of tape. Sometimes it's easier if you cut a little angle on it, and sometimes it's actually easier if you cut it straight across. And don't ask me why, because it really seems to kind of have a mind of its own, however it's gonna go. This is just not gonna. Sorry. So anyhow, you will find that working with the tape will definitely have, it's almost, to me, one of the most annoying parts, because getting that little bit started, sometimes it just does not want to come up. It's just going to be a stinker. And don't be afraid to walk away from it. Don't undo all your really good work that you've already done, because you get frustrated with trying to get that tape to come up, because it will come up eventually. Just like that. Ta-da! All right. So we're still going to do silver, and we're just going to come over that line. Back and forth, and then a little circle over it. It doesn't take a lot to push it down onto there. Back and forth, make sure that your tape is down. The little circle just sort of grinds the glitter into your tape so that you're sure you're getting a really good coverage on it. You'll also find that some of this rubbing will actually dislodge some of that chunky that's in there, and that's okay, because you don't want that on there if it's going to float, if it's going to move through your epoxy. I know I don't like that, but I love chunky glitter. I absolutely adore it. It's like, I just want all the glitter, Amy. I want all your glitter because it's so gorgeous. My granddaughter comes over and she's like, "Did you get more glitter? I want to see it." Of course, I have to check her pockets when she leaves to make sure she didn't swipe my glitter on me. I don't know, guys. What do you think? What color for the top and the bottom? I'm kind of thinking like, I don't know. I really like the silver. I really like the gold. I don't know if it'll be too ostentatious if it's got the gold. I don't know. I'm kind of like, What do you think? I need help here. Help me pick. Definitely not the green, because that's going to be too chunky. It's going to be too bulky over the edges. So Okay. So this is what they call a double line plaid. Done. Got one little piece of chunky that does not want to lay down, so we're going to have to pick them off. All right, so top and the bottom time. I was kind of thinking that, Rhonda. I was kind of thinking maybe gold and silver together. Maybe that would be pretty. Let me mix them up and see. Let me see. Do a little bit and see how it looks. So, the gold's really bright, like super, super, super bright. I think it's going to need more silver than gold. Huh. I have some little snowflakes too. I bet you that'd be cute. That's pretty. That's gold and silver together. It softens the gold. It definitely. Ooh. What if I used like that geo in with the gold? What do you think of that? Like, this is that geo silver. Like, I love this stuff. All right, let's try it. Let's put a pinch of it in here. I just want to see if it pops it. Oh, wow. Yeah, this is a winner, guys. Can you see it? Looks like it's a little blurry. I say we try it. Let's try it. I'm going to mix up a little more because it doesn't seem to be... Whoops. All right. Well, I guess this is like... if I could buy this by like the pound, I would, because it's one of my favorites. That and there was a summer mix that Amy did, which was I think it's called Turks and Coiks or something like that. I absolutely love it. And the Montego Bay. They're like favorites. All right, because I have another plaid to do, so I think if this works out, then I am definitely going to... I'm loving this mix, guys. This looks gorgeous. This is really pretty. Yeah, I think the snowflakes in there will look really pretty. So I'm going to try, I'm going to see if I can find that. But I want to place those. I don't want to put, like, just sprinkle them on. I actually want to place them on there. I think that will look really cool. So, what's this? I don't know. So, one thing when you're dealing with the chunky, it likes to stick underneath your double-sided tape. And until you get that seal on there, you do want to make sure that it's pushed down, and don't put a lot of pressure and stuff like that on them until you get them like actually sealed before you put your epoxy on, because I love the look of it. I think it's so pretty with the chunky. I'm all about chunky. Like I said before, I'm just loving it. Ooh, coffee. So I'm super glad that Amy was like, you know, maybe willing to do that, because I think that having a Christmas plaid box, and we all do it, will be so cool. Where did I put my paintbrush? Well, luckily I have a whole bunch. Okay, so next step is going to be top and bottom. I'm going to do the bottom first. I'm just going to come around and put on my Mod Podge. Just bring your brush right up against your dried glitter. And then I'm going to take it, and once I get it on here, I'm going to actually brush it up underneath into the bottom. I love the idea of doing that mix. I think that'll look really cool. Super fun. All right. All right, here we go. We're going to try that mixture out and see how it works. It dulls out the golds, definitely. But it's so pretty. It just, I think it looks super. Now, I like doing the bottom. When I do the bottom, I actually, I love it. I'll just take and put my stuff on there, and then I'll just mash it into my stuff that's fallen onto my paper. Because, yeah, it's better. You know what would probably be really cool up here on this edge is if you took and used like 1-inch double-sided tape. That would probably work really good. I think Gina's at work. She's just, I think she's checking in when she can. Oh, this is pretty. Okay, this is definitely a winner. As far as I'm concerned, it is. Because it does combine the silver and the gold together and gives it like this very regal kind of look. Now this will most likely need a second coat going on here, I'm gonna assume, because I might do it when I seal it. I might put a little more on just to make sure that it's fully covered. Because I kind of got to put the Mod Podge on pretty thick to hold that chunky down. I love it. That was a great idea, guys. That was a great idea. Mixing the two together and then adding the geo to it. So that is the Sandy Beach, the silver geode, and then just a silver glitter mix. And it is look at that shine, guys. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be like super awesome. So we'll do like have a these colors are beautiful. Like they're just so beautiful together. Okay, so for the bottom, what I like to do, because it takes forever to use Mod Podge on the bottom, one, I would wait until I had epoxy and I would just throw my epoxy right on the bottom of it. But see if I can smooth this out, because I don't know if it's gonna work so good, but we'll try it. So one thing I found with the Mod Podge, putting it on the bottom, at least for me, it kind of had this weird like matted look to it, and I didn't like that. So I don't know, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. Okay, so what I do is I just dump out a bunch. And I do that. Ha! Boop! There you go. So you're going to see that this is going to need to dry here for a bit. I'm not going to mess with this right now, but it is going to definitely need a second layer because of all this awesome chunkiness going on here. It's going to absolutely need another layer at the bottom. But that, my friends, is a double plaid, lined plaid. And I want to thank everybody for letting me do this. And special thanks to Amy and Rhonda and Vanessa and Gina and Kristen Warwick, who's been awesome to me. I really appreciate you guys so much, and I love you all. And so this is the bad boy. This upside down. I'm telling you, I love these Life water bottles. So after I get done drinking the water, what I do is I fill it up with water, and guess what? It's perfect to hold stuff. I spray paint on these. I do all kinds of stuff because I don't have a ton of cup holder things. So anywho, thank you guys. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about the live, please reach out to me. I'm super happy to answer anything that you have. If there's something that you're interested in seeing, make sure that you let Amy know, because I'm sure there's things that people do that like we don't even think about. I think that would be super awesome. And just let her know what you're interested in seeing. If you need something from me, let me know. I'm happy to be there for you all. And you guys have a great day. Thanks again. Bye-bye.